Put it in the water and put it in the septic, or electric, put it in the streets. Their building, that's what you. Yeah.
Storms, all your utilities, storms.
Close enough. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening and welcome. A few items before we start. Make sure you're silencing those cell phones. Our meetings are public and recorded. This is a business meeting, so we ask everyone to conduct themselves in a professional manner. Our city code allows for public comment up to 3 minutes. And for best sound quality, please lean into these microphones to speak. With that, we'll kick it off with the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Finance Committee, myself, and Alderman Peel are the only two present, so we will not have a quorum. Just a few highlights. Everybody has a copy of the preliminary facade program in your packet that we'll address at City Council. Is that right, Susan? Mm-hmm. Okay. Maturing CDs have been on here. We have 2 of them coming due on 10th month, the 24th, 4 of them due on 11th month, the 16th, and then 2 of them due 12th month, the 20th. On your financial dashboard, with the fiscal year being over at 100%, as far as the revenue side, we are plus $650,207 to the good. On the expenditure side, we're again to the good side, $2,245,590 below the budget. So in pretty good shape all the way around. Kaskaskia stakeholders will do at City Council, correct?
Correct?
Any public comments, good anything for the good of the city? We'll adjourn at 6:02.
All right, fastest Finance Committee meeting ever. Okay, next up is Personnel.
All right, I call the Personnel Committee to order at 6:02. Myself, Peel, and Giebert are here. Dojan and Reinecker are absent. We have no old business. Under new business, make a motion to approve the prior month's meeting minutes from April 15, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, next up, we have Linda Kriebel is resigning from the library effective today, May 20th. First off, just like to thank her for years of service she put in the library, but I take a motion to accept her resignation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Any public comments, anything for the good of the city? Hearing none, I'll close Personnel Committee at 6:02.
Okay, I will take Public Health and Safety and call it to order at 6:02 with Giebert and Nevoy present, Hanabit, Reinecker, and Dojan absent. We are going to pass on the minutes. Department Activity Report, the chief is here if you have those here. Have any questions? Okay, hearing none. We're up to public comments. Hearing none of those, I'll close the meeting at 6:02 p.m. Next up is Cultural. I'll take that one too. Call that to order at 6:03 p.m. With Demond and Giebert present, Schwarzkopf, Reinecker, and Dojan absent. We will pass along on the meeting minutes. The request from the Catholic Church, the Humane Society, and the Chamber of Commerce items will officially pass to the council meeting on June 4th. But to pause a bit, the Chamber of Commerce request, we have a Chamber of Commerce representative here. Would you like to make a few comments about these, or are you just here for emotional support? Oh, for any questions. Okay, I'm going to just take a moment or two on these. So on number 4, the request from the Chamber of Commerce, detour signs and barricades. Jill has a memo in the packet that gave a nice summary of this. This is dated back to like 2022. It was a project I believe Pam had started on to collectively purchase barricades and signage that we could use for the lighted parade, for the firemen's parade, for various other things as well, in a joint purchasing effort between the city, the chamber, and the fire department, that we would each do a third of it. The ones that are here, it's just in theory, something you think that is a good idea to do, because our payback is just a couple of years. We've been running them for like $1,200. So payback is fantastic.
Definitely say it's well worth doing.
Okay, that being said, we were hoping to come out of tonight's meeting with a nod that they could go ahead and order. With only 4 of you here, it sounds like, we think this is good. I can reach out to the other 4 and give a nod, and we will officially approve this at the June council meeting, but that way the order can get in with about a 30-day lead time, so we probably could get these items for this year's Fireman's Parade. Okay,
Yeah,
everybody.
that was gonna be the one thing I was gonna bring up, because they said we would need to order them right away to make sure they would be here for the picnic.
Okay, so yeah, instead of ordering them at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll do some checking tomorrow. Maybe we'll order them after lunch instead. At least that way we'll get them ordered. But I'll give the other folks, some time to chime in on that as well. Then the other item, there's been discussion about having a community yard sale, garage sale, whatever it's called. And the chamber has put some ideas together. There is, I guess there's a little handout in your packet on that as well, describing there would be space made available here at this parking lot. They would sell those spaces, but they're actually going to be donations to local charity to reserve a spot if you don't have a garage or somewhere to have your sale at. This is another item they'd like to move forward on. They need to get the marketing out and things on. For those of you that are here, in theory, are we okay with this concept?
I'm by me.
Okay, I'll reach out to the others then, so that within a few hours of tomorrow that you can move forward with that idea as well. While Brad is here, does anybody have any other questions on either one of these that he could firsthand answer? Okay. Well, we'll try and move these 2 time-sensitive ones forward tomorrow with formal approval at the council meeting then. That brings us to the end. Any public comments for cultural? Hearing none, I will adjourn this meeting at 6:06 PM. Public Works, you can
I'll
take
call
that
it.
one, Kurt, solo.
Public Works is 6:06 with myself present and nobody else. Plant report?
Generation runs per schedule. We do have our urge testing has been set for one of the early days in July. I don't remember exactly. So we'll have that coming up.
I'm just gonna jump into new
Yep,
business.
I'll go into those real quick.
Yeah, just go through them all.
Excuse me, electric, just to let everybody know, I put in an email a while back. IMEA will be here at the June committee meeting for the presentation for the contract extension talks for the, on the electric side. I'm also working on sports lighting energy efficiency project. We do have a use it or lose it year for our funds through the energy efficiency program. So I'll try to get all that stuff together. We'll have more for everyone at the June committee meetings on that. And then otherwise, streets-wise, the only thing is Jeff and I are working on the schedules for the asphalt patching and the curb and gutter, sidewalk, whatever else through the MFT program. We're working on schedules for that with those contractors.
Okay. Under new business, we won't approve any minutes, but you got a proposal from VIP Power Services.
Yeah, it's just some PLC upgrades for the generators. So they'll do some different upgrades. This work wouldn't be done until after September 15th due to our being out of the off-peak season. So we'll just be getting that, and that is a budgeted item.
Okay.
And same with proposal from Ultrasite, just the picnic table that we had down there. As picnic tables were getting replaced in the parks, we were kind of grabbing some of the old wood ones. The one we have down at the shop, it's, I think you'll get more splinters from paint chips than you would from the wood itself. So just want to try and get a replacement picnic table that we have down there at the shop. I did budget for that as well.
Okay. Next 2 items, we got 2 sewer adjustments. Naturally, I can't move on those, but we will at city council meeting. Next, you got a proposal for a new printer copier for the utility office.
Same thing, just going to be one of them things to replace the current printer copier we have. The old one we can utilize then over in the water plant for them to make copies for their reports. Again, a budgeted item.
Next thing is a training request for Derek. We'll approve that in the June meeting also. Next is purchase some ground protection mats.
Yeah, in the past, we've been buying the plywood, 3/4 inch plywood, and I called out to Construction Supply. we probably buy 10, 15, 20, 3/4 inch piece of plywood every year, about $35 each. After over a 10-year period, you're spending about, I don't know, $5,300 to $7,000. These ground protection mats are supposed to last 10 years. We won't use them to make them, I mean, I'm sure we'll get a lot more years out of them than 10 years because they're
They're basically mats you used for
It's
driving
for
equipment
trucks to
across.
back into yards and stuff like that, so. And it's just, in that way, we can save the cost from having to buy plywood all the time and then ended up junking it, throwing it on the bird pile. So I did budget for that as well.
Okay. Next item is some AEDs for power plant. or
Yeah,
for
so
the-
what, for the 3 other buildings, we do have them in most of the buildings. I just want to get one in the rest of the buildings down there. So that means all the buildings would have one there ready to go. And again, that is in the budget for this.
Okay. Your next item is replacement of some relief valves for gas regulator stations.
Yes, this is relief valves. I think when talking to Steve, I think some of these are 50, 75 years old with the gas system. And the relief valves are very vital in the fact that they keep the system from overpressurizing. Because if we have an overpressurization, then we're probably buying a heck of a lot more appliances and everything else than we would want to. So it is money in the budget for it. Again, I would just like to see if you guys are okay. These have a, where's the notes here? There's a lead time on them to get these 4 to 5 weeks. So was wanting to see about trying to, if you guys are okay, if I can go ahead and get the order placed, we would do the work ourselves and then obviously get formal approval at the council meeting.
Okay. There again, no action on that. We'll do that at the city council meeting. Next is Scott Becker's increase. There again, no action be taken. We'll take care of that in the June meeting. So I adjourned at 6:11.
Okay, that leads us up to zoning committee. Toss it
Thank
to
you,
you,
Mayor.
Alan.
I call the zoning committee meeting to order at 6:11. Myself, Alderman Giebert, Damon, and Nevoy, all present. First thing is the Red Bud Business Park. Jeff had worked up a lot pricing worksheet. You should all have it. I'm going to turn it over to Jeff to kind of explain a little bit about it.
Please ignore the one that was in your packet. I got some last minute information from Volkert. Basically, the contract that they first gave us, I didn't review it. I got it into the packets barely in time to make the packets. After reviewing it, they wanted to get paid again for some duplicate work that we'd already had under contract. I'm not in favor of that, as I'm sure you're not. So, the one that I put on your desk is about $14,000 cheaper than the one that was in your packet. So please disregard the one in your packet. With that being the case, I went ahead and updated the business park lot pricing worksheet, which I also laid at your desk. I think the numbers are pretty self-explanatory. Our appraiser, I don't think is interested in doing anything. I've called him numerous times, nothing back, but kind of as Bill and Rodney talked about, if we look at it on what does it actually cost the city, if you flip to the back page, phase 1 factoring in our grant money, it's roughly $1.4 million is our total cost to the city. We have $566,000 plus or minus in grant money. Total cost to the city is about $880,000. So if we base it on total acres, you're looking at about $92,000 an acre. If we price it on the actual buildable amount, you're at 173 plus or minus. I don't know how we can price this other than on the total acres of each lot.
Gotta be.
It has to be, and, because it doesn't make any sense to do it any other way, even though the value of the lot is in the buildable acres. But I think we need to do it total acres. We're at about 92, for the 9.5 total acres. About half of those acres abut the highway. Do we want to put a premium, like we did last time, on the highway lots? And if so, we need to think about what that number might be.
Jeff, whenever I build a subdivision, I have to do the same exact format you're using here for the bank.
Right.
And again, it is based on
Total
acres,
yeah.
not the buildable. Then what I always do is go around and the more premium lots, I put a premium price on
That's
them.
what we
Your
did
corner
last time.
lots and the ones that are larger, typically that happens to, and they get jacked up a little bit. And I think you could do the same thing and it'd be justified.
The only question I had, and I've been trying to get a hold of, we do have an individual that's been very interested for the last couple of years. I haven't gotten to sit down in front of her yet, but, you know, with 90,000 being kind of an even number, what would you talk about upper and lower limits of 110 for the ones up front and 80 for the ones in the back, or, you know, what do you think?
Do you use some kind of factor, Rodney, a percentage, or?
That's all I do.
So
I
is-
mean, I'm willing to help Jeff with it, kind of go through it and come up with a formula to come up with some pricing and then start pricing them out. Because you still have the option, if they aren't selling, that you can lower your price.
That's right.
I think we should at least try to cover our cost, and you can always lower your cost, you know, if the city says, hey, they're not moving, we're willing to take a little bit of a loss on this and get it down, then you can always do that.
Because from a legal standpoint, you're cool with us doing it
Oh,
that
yes.
way? Okay.
And one thing, you know, taking a loss, I know everybody says that we broke even on the first East Industrial Park. We did not. We lost 17%, because we did discount some lots to get them moving. So, but when I talk to her, I don't know how to talk to her without knowing what we want to price these lots at. So maybe I'll just check and see if she's still interested and not even talk price yet. So, the last time we did it, it was 40,000 for the lots that abutted the highway and 25 for everything in the back. So there was quite a bit of a markup. So, but
So
that's
be-
what this worksheet is.
So between you two, you want to put some proposal together for the next committee meetings then?
That'd be fine.
Time-wise, that would be okay? So in theory, maybe we could bring that to June committees and approve it at the July council meeting possibly, and then we could, and then that would probably fit in with the whole schedule of moving with the entrance and things forward, and that would all start to fall
So
together.
Jeff, my one question, because I can work on it by myself a little bit too, the construction cost, is that a Volkert estimation?
Yes, sir.
And then gas and electric is from the city, I'm assuming?
That's from, yeah, Josh gave us that number quite a while ago.
Yeah, Josh, those were dated that we were using, so I don't know.
Yeah, I can probably do a quick, adjustment on that if we need,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, for this illustration, it was fine. If you want to get into more fine details, then maybe we
Yeah.
may want to just tweak a line or two. And I don't know that it's really going to move the bottom a lot, but it'll give you an idea.
No, I don't mind doing it.
Okay, well, we'll bring that back next time then.
Okay. And then Jeff, you kind of mentioned the Volkert contract also. Was there anything more you wanted to bring up about that?
Other than it's a not to exceed of $15,000, and by agreeing to this contract, we're pretty much telling them we're ready to enter construction, put the construction documents together, get the permits we need ready, and we're gonna go out for bids this fall, type of thing.
Okay.
So if we want to approve this, that's what this is gonna start. It's gonna start the construction process.
And
Just some food for thought too, from the EPA permitting, water sewer side. I actually just received a construction permit today from the EPA for a application we submitted in the middle of February, so it was 3 months.
Okay.
so sooner the better would be nice with it then. Well, I will entertain a motion to accept Volker's contract,
The revised one, you said is
the
15?
revised one, yes.
Oh.
Not to exceed 15,000 is what you had said, right, Jeff?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Second.
Did you second or make it?
He made it.
Well, I'll make the motion.
He
yes.
made the motion, I was seconding it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And just as,
Opposed?
oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Motion carries.
And just as a side note, that Energy Transition Community Grant will help cover these costs too, because that can all go, engineering costs can go first to that grant. So we do have monies to offset these as well.
All right, on to new business. I'd like to make a motion to approve prior month's meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Jeff had emailed out also about the City Hall renovation bid result. I will pass that along to you also.
Yes, we had 4 plan holders out. We did receive 2 bids. You have them in front of you. KB Contracting out of Waterloo, Limbaugh Construction out of Granite City. KB Contracting was the low bidder. Base bid of $198,177. There were also 3 alternates. Alternates 1 and 3 were well below the architect's estimate. He highly recommends we accept the base bid, items number 1 and 3. Item number 2, he suggests that we put that off, and when we decide to tuck point the whole building, do it at that time. So the total contract would be $228,642 for KB Contracting.
Sorry, could you repeat that one again? 228?
$228,642. Currently, we do have $309,000 in the budget for this project.
And that was eliminating alternate 2 for now, correct? Taking the other ones?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I would make a motion to accept KB Contracting's bid results of $228,642.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Well, now
No, no, we will.
discussion.
Well, no, we will. I can't say anything right now, but we will talk about it.
Okay.
Because, Jeff, did they say, because them windows are probably, with the specialty windows, those are probably, what, 12 weeks or better out?
We haven't discussed that yet until they know they have the bid.
Well, nothing's approved yet, because it has to go to city council.
That's right.
Correct.
So,
And it's gonna, because that's gonna be a timing issue coming into the fall, for sure.
That's what Wilkie told us at our pre-construction.
sure.
Okay, so that'll move on to council. Any public comments, anything good for the city? Hearing none, I will adjourn the zoning committee at 6:22.
Okay, next up is recreational facilities. I'll take that one. I will call that to order at 6:22. Present are Nevoy, Peel, and Demond. Absent is Dojon and Hanabit. No old business, so new business. We will skip over the minutes. In your packet, reference only are the minutes. Why did you have 3? That's right.
Yeah, you got
I
3.
do have 3. Yes, back up a tad here. I will call for a motion to approve the minutes of April 15th.
I make a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Sorry about that. Got so used to the other ones, yeah. Just information only, the Parks and Rec Committee meeting minutes are in your packets from May 1st, if hopefully you've had time to take a look at those. Next up is a proposal from Davey Tree to do tree and stump maintenance items, and these are at Rats as opposed to the previous ones we did at Lincoln, and there is money in the budget for this. So I would entertain a motion to accept the proposal from Davey Tree Service not to exceed $3,600.
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That motion carries.
And just so you guys know, that's what Rodney had brought up, and also in regards to over by the cart shed. So that does include over in that area as well.
Okay, so.
That's included in there.
Wonderful, good deal. Okay, next up is a proposal from Secure One. At a previous Parks and Rec meeting last year, there was some concerns about security at the sports complex, and even, I think, Chief, you sat in on one of their meetings. Did you not, Parks and Rec Committee? I think you did.
I did.
Okay. And this is the quote that they actually gave us last year. They're still honoring it as of today. So this would put some cameras out at the sports complex, I think mainly, more for security than anything. So I would entertain a motion for the proposal for a secure oneself not to exceed $3,605.
Second.
Oh, I can't make that motion. I have to entertain.
Okay. I'll make the motion to accept the Secure One bid.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Next item in your packets. This is the budget for basically what the Parks and Rec Committee gets involved in. Had an idea, rather than bringing these items one by one by one by one into this committee, if we could do a bulk approval. If you look down the left-hand side, they're all numbered 1 through 22, that they would be allowed to do these things. They have to be these exact things and no more dollar-wise than this, otherwise then they would have to come through this committee. Does anybody have a problem with more of this bulk approval rather than bringing through everything in one by one? Because these items were simply in the budget. Okay, then I will entertain a motion for bulk approval for FY 2025 items 1 to 22.
Make a motion.
Okay?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next up, proposal from Daryl Sauger about the pool house. Josh, I'm going to let you speak to this a little bit. I think you and Jeff maybe both looked at the structure, and there are some concerns out there about this.
Yeah, that north side especially, the paint's bubbling off and could use some tuck pointing, I think so. And I know Kyle's the one that reached out to Daryl Sauger. He is the one that did the interior painting last summer before the season started, so this would just be cleaning the three sides, the north, the east, and the south, because the west side is the mural. And then doing the tuck pointing, then, repainting.
And this is a large enough expense. We do have money in the capital plan to cover larger items at the pool, so we would simply draw down some of those capital funds to cover this. So any other questions on that, or if not, I'll call for a motion on this.
I'll make that a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? This motion carries. Next up, RP Lumber. RBAA, by their lease, needs to care for plumbing items. They are asking for an exception on these toilets. I know, Josh, can you put your RBAA hat on a little bit as well as your superintendent and talk
Well,
about this?
like I said, I didn't have anything to do with this side. I know Val Crafton was working on it. I think her mom or somebody works over there. So just putting this together. And I think it was also discussed with Kyle and maybe at one of the Parks Board meetings as well, for the, toilet replacements for out there. And also too, just for some ideas here, I know it's also been discussed potentially about, do we open those bathrooms up more? So that might open up to where the city would, make the exception to the lease potentially. Just because if they're gonna wanna have those bathrooms opened up more, since per the lease, when there is no RBA scheduled events, it is considered a park.
Does anybody have any questions about this?
Josh, I'm curious, would a plumbing supply house get us better numbers than a lumberyard for toilets?
I do know that these were discounted too, so I don't know, I'd have to check. I didn't have anything to do with it. So,
was just-
yeah, because I do know that they had
I've seen
this.
for RP lumber, it's kind of different, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah, I think from my understanding too, they've been discounted a little bit too, but if they want to sit there and say that not to exceed a number,
Yeah.
but get a secondary number too,
Probably just went somewhere local is what I'm thinking they did, so.
that's,
I don't know, we recently bought some at home and these are pretty good prices.
I agree, but what are you getting to?
But-
What are these? What brand?
Well,
are
they are-
they're saying they're American
they're
standard.
American standard,
Okay.
and some of them are actually the,
Okay,
comfort height, is that what,
Yeah, I've
right
actually got-
terminology?
sure.
If you want the,
No, I get it. there's, like anything else, there's all kinds of stuff out there.
Yeah, they are both American Standard. And one's even this champion chair. Yeah, these are, yeah.
Some are the comfort height, some are, one, I think you have one lower and then the rest are all the comfort height, I think is what they call it.
So any other questions? Otherwise, I will entertain a motion for this.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Quick question, so I can clarify for the
Motion
board,
carries.
is that going to be RBA going to purchase and doing a request for reimbursement? Or how do you want to do that?
It's just as easy as
Doesn't matter?
anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're both nonprofits, I mean, it don't
Yeah.
matter, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last item, we have an opportunity for a grant. I got to get the name correct here. It's the Rebuild Downtowns and Main Streets Grant, the RDMS grant. And our new employee, Jill, has really been looking into different variety of grants, and this one came up. We're looking at two things. The reason this is under recreational facilities, we were possibly thinking about asking for a grant at Rats Park. Rats is under this renovation right now. We could not include the parking lot in that previous grant. This grant sounds like we could possibly do the parking lot, maybe do some work on what we're calling the ring road, maybe some work on the creek that runs through it. So this is adjacent to, IDOT right away. It's not far from downtown. The other idea we were possibly tossing around is Locust Street, since that's close to downtown, carries a lot of traffic, connects to a lot of businesses. So at this point, we're just simply looking for authorization to apply. We have an email in to an individual asking some questions about what the best route is to go. But at this point, it's just simply getting our toe in the water. This is a 1-to-3 match. It does need to be a $250,000 grant, but that means about an $80,000 match. We're very close to $60,000 saved toward this parking lot, and with moving some other numbers around, we'd have the $80,000 even within the Parks capital fund to do this. If we could put out 80 and they're gonna give us 250, this is great. It's competitive. They're looking at 20 grants around the state, but, if we write a good grant, we could possibly get it. So at this point, I'm just looking for approval to apply, and we'll keep teasing the details out.
I make a motion to apply for the Rebuild Downtowns and Main Street grant.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Public comments.
Mayor, I did have one thing, and I forgot to mention it during the zoning, but last committee, we approved a change order to add the water softener system to the splash pad and to also enlarge the restroom footings by 24 inches. We did get an estimate from Nevoy Construction for $17,518 to do that. So that will be on the June council bills.
Okay. Any other comments for the committee? Okay, hearing none, I will adjourn this committee at 6:32 PM. We'll see you June. When's our next meeting here? June 3rd. So just expect a little bit of a heavy amount of motions that evening, unless we figure out another way to do this. So we're just going to shift a lot of this into council meeting. So thank you for those who were here tonight.